Hi everyone, this is Reading Tuesday, January 26th. Reading for Tuesday, January 26th. You're going to need your small reading book and workbook pages in your packet. Workbook page 131 and 132. So your turn practice book 131 and 132. Okay, right now we're going to get into our small reading book, our small story. Our story in our small reading book. I want you to turn to page 72. Again, we did yesterday, but we're going to do it again for practice. Page 72 in your small reading book. Okay, I'm going to read the words. Oh, let me see. I might want my Apple pointer. Hold on a second. It might be fun to use today. See, it's so cute. I had a kid give it to me. I don't remember who. I don't think it was this year. Bone, cute. Eve is a name, so it's capital. Drove, the E makes the O say O. Hoped, this is past tense. The present tense is hope. We drop the E before we add ED, so it only has one E. Hoped, this is not hopped because hopped would have two P's. Hoped, these, the E makes the E say E. Steve, the E makes the E say E. Mule, stone, broke, voted, drop the E before you add ED. Cubes is plural. It means more than one cube. Cubes. Bone, read with me. Bone, cute, Eve, drove, hoped, these, Steve, mule, stone, broke, voted, cubes. Okay? Can Pete use this phone? There are three words there that are consonant, vowel, consonant, E. Pete, use, phone. Use has vowel, consonant, E. But the E makes the vowel say its own name. Zeke is Rose's cute mule. Who owns the mule? Rose, because of the apostrophe S. Zeke is Rose's cute mule. Home, homes, means more than one. Pole, huge, the E makes the U say U. Use, stove, these, those. One more time. Home, homes, pole, huge, use, stove, these, those. Okay, turn the page. We're going to read this again. Read about how life at home is different today than it was long ago. Life at home. You have your book that you're going to be reading from. Okay, you're going to read with me on page 76. Long ago, many families cooked, worked, and slept in one room. Today, families can live in large homes that have lots of space. A long time ago, homes had just one room. People ate and slept in the same room. Today, homes can have many rooms. So that's how they were different. Long ago, homes had one room. Now we have several rooms, but the thing in the middle, the thing that is the same, is that families lived in homes or lived together. Long ago, there was an oven at the side of the fireplace. Bread was baked there. Long ago, they cooked in one pot. They could only cook one thing at a time. Today, stoves can use gas or electricity instead of burning it over the wood. Now we use a stove to cook and bake things. We still use pots, but these pots are not as big as that old pot. So if we did a Venn diagram, long ago, fireplace. Today, stove, electricity. In the middle, what would they both have in common? Still use pots, and we still cook. Okay? Back then, kids helped out a lot. A boy helped his dad plant crops. Oh, I think I skipped this page yesterday. A girl helped her mom inside the home. She made socks and caps. It takes a long time to make those things. Oh, I skipped the top part yesterday because I was trying to make it bigger. That's what happened. A spinning wheel was used to spin wool into yarn. That's how they made their clothes or their socks and caps. Let's do this again. Back then, kids helped out a lot. A boy helped his dad plant crops. That's how they got their food. A girl helped her mom inside the home. She made socks and caps. It takes a long time to make those things. Today, people buy most of the things they need and want. Now we shop for things such as socks and caps. We shop for things to eat as well, but kids still help out at home. So if we had a Venn diagram, on this circle we would have long ago, a boy helps his dad plant, a girl helps her mom make socks and caps. On this side for today, we would have people grocery shop, and we shop for clothing. And in the middle, what they both have in common would be kids still help out at home. Back then, people got water from a well. Then they filled up a big tub and washed things. In the past, people washed dishes in a tub made of wood. Now people can wash things in a sink. We can wash dishes in a dishwasher too. Life is not as hard today as it was long ago. Today it's easy to wash dishes in a sink or dishwater. Okay, if we had a Venn diagram, on this side in the circle it would say long ago people washed dishes and clothes in a tub made of wood. This side it would say today we wash dishes in the sink or the dishwasher. And in the middle it would say what is the same long ago and today? We still wash dishes. We both wash dishes. Okay? This is that picture again of the Venn diagram. Long ago, now, and both. So both is what they both have in common. Because if you see, the two circles interconnect there. So whatever is in the middle is in both circles. That means it happened long ago and now. Okay? All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to read I'm going to read to you so you don't need anything, just to listen. Be right back to the screen. vocabulary cards. We're going to go over some vocabulary words. So let's look at this picture. Did it take place in the past or present? And what makes you think so? Okay, the way they're dressed, and they have an ox that's pulling the wagon. Okay, these are called pioneers. Who were the pioneers and how did they live? Pioneers are people that discover something first, or they make their way to something first. Long ago, many Americans traveled west in hopes of finding land to settle and farm. They were called pioneers. They wanted to discover new land and places to live and farm. They packed belongings into covered wagons and spent months on the journey. So they put all of their things in this wagon to head west. Do you think that this was an easy trip or a hard trip? Yeah, it was very hard. They traveled in that wagon for months and months. Today, we move from place to place much more quickly than people did in the past. We can drive our cars across the United States in 1 week. On a plane, we can get there in a few hours. Over a century ago, the trip to the grass-covered prairie was difficult. Over a century ago means over 100 years ago, the trip to the prairie or out west was difficult. Paved roads didn't exist. It didn't have roads. Covered wagons had to follow rough paths and cross over water. Oxen pulled the heavy wagons, which were also filled with food and supplies. Oxen were strong, but they were slow. A team of oxen could pull a wagon about 15 miles a day. Today, a car can do that in 15 minutes. So a Venn diagram would look like long ago they used oxen and covered wagons. Today we use cars. In the middle, we travel. We take trips like they did back then. Okay? So we're comparing and contrasting things that happened long ago and today. Compare means you tell how they are alike. Contrast means you tell how they are different. Okay, let's look at this picture. Is this a picture of the past or right now? Right, the past. You can look at the house. You could look at how they're dressed. Okay, and it's black and white, isn't it? When the long journey was over and the pioneers had reached the prairie, they faced a new challenge. They had to make new homes. Many pioneers lived on farms. Their houses were very different from our houses today. There were few trees, so there was not much wood for building houses. Some people built houses from logs that were brought to the prairie by railroads. Other people built houses from stones or even dirt, like this house. They used what they had available to build houses with. A house made from blocks of dirt was cool in the summer and warm in the winter. There was one problem with a house made from dirt, though. What do you think that could be? If your house was made of dirt, what could one of the problems be? You guessed it. When rain fell, the dirt roof got wet. The wet roof sometimes fell onto the people inside of the house. The early pioneers had no electricity. Instead of turning on a light, people lit candles and oil lamps at night. They cooked over a fire in the kitchen or outdoors. There were many chores to do, just like there are today, but they may have been different kind of chores. Children helped with cooking and cleaning. Kids were very busy at home, but they still had fun. What pioneer families what did pioneer families do for entertainment? They sang songs together, just like we do. They played with their pets too, just like we do today. Okay, so our houses looked different, but they still served a purpose. They still served shelter for us. Here's a different kind of picture here, different one. Take place in the past or today? Right, the past. Pioneer children did not go to school in a big building. Instead, kids went to a school with just one room, which we talked about yesterday. In this one-room schoolhouse, one teacher taught students from many different grades. The youngest children sat in smaller desks at the front of the classroom. The older children sat in larger desks in the back of the room. The teacher taught one level at a time and prepared many different lessons for every day. Prepared means got ready for. Younger students learned a lot by hearing the lessons for older students. The supplies that students used at school were very different than those used today. Students did not use computers or calculators. Those things would not be invented until far in the future. Often, students didn't even use paper. Instead, they wrote on a slate or like a blackboard with slate pencils. These were like using small blackboards and chalk or dry erase boards. Even though one-room schools were very different than ours, the students had some things in common with kids today. They learned to read and write, and they had fun at recess. So that is the same. That part is the same. Okay? This is a colored picture, isn't it? What did the pioneers who lived on the prairie eat? They had no supermarkets or stores as people have in the present today. Instead, they raised most of their food themselves. Many pioneers grew corn, wheat, potatoes, and vegetables, such as squash and beans. They collected eggs from their chickens and milk from their cows. They kept pigs and sheep, too. Their meals came from all these things. For breakfast, a pioneer family might eat cornbread, fried potatoes, and eggs. For lunch, they might eat more potatoes, soup, and ham. For dinner, they might eat chicken and biscuits with beans. Would you get tired of eating the same kinds of food over and over? Pioneers felt the same way. So some pioneers kept beehives, and they put the honey that the bees made on their food. Other settlers or pioneers grew apple trees and pear trees from seeds they brought to a prairie with them. A fresh apple or pear made a fine end to a meal. That was true then, and it is still true now. Do you think you would like to have been a pioneer? Oh, it'd be hard. Okay, if we retell these cards, the story, what is the story? What is card 1 mostly about? Okay, let's find that one. What was this card mostly about? How they got to the prairie? How they traveled back then? This card was mostly about their homes and how they built them. The main idea of this card was the schoolhouse and the school children. And this card was, the main idea was, where did pioneers get their food and what kinds of food did they eat? Okay, let's go over I want to keep that up there. There they are. Let's go over these words again. Century means 100 years. Past, already happened. Entertainment, what do for fun? Future, what's coming in the future. present, what's happening right now. These are your ring of words. Ago, boy, girl, how, old, and people. Okay, we are going to get out your workbook page. It's going to look like this. It's going to be page 131. 131. Look at each picture. Circle the word that names each picture and write the word. When you write the words, I want you to use the lines. Small letters start at the dotted line, bottom line. Tall letters touch the top line, bottom line. Okay? Down here, look at each picture. Write O, U, or E to complete the word that it names, that names it. So this is a rose, so what letter is it missing? This is a cone, what letter is it missing? Okay? You're going to do that, and you're going to upload it and send it to your teacher. And then on the back, you're going to fill in the blanks. Let's read the words. Go, boy, girl, how, old, people. We rode in carts long ago. And then cross it off. Make sure your short letters touch the dotted line, bottom line, and your tall letters touch the top line, bottom line. Let's see how good of handwriting you can do. Okay, we are done with reading for Tuesday, but please make sure that you do these 2 workbook pages, upload them, and send them to your teacher. And I will see you tomorrow for Wednesday's reading. Goodbye, everyone. I enjoyed teaching you today. I miss you so much. Goodbye.